Hello and good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Azeeza Jalaludeen, and I am the founder of Go Global Business School, as many of you know me as. And today we are very, very thrilled and excited to have on board this amazing first segment of Insights with Transformation Leaders, Dr. Ivan Misner. Welcome, Dr. Ivan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
That's right. I'm so happy and delighted you are here with us. And this is a project of Go Global Business School in collaboration with Global Sparks International. That's in Singapore and USA. We are a brand new segment. This whole segment is a brand new segment bringing to you elite global business leaders who are amazing trailblazers, creating huge success and being the change maker in the world. I'm so excited to have Dr. Ivan join us today because in these episodes, every one of them, we will be showcasing some powerful insights of their transformational journey, their challenges, and also their success formula, which is everyone's excitement in taking things forward. So we look forward to inspire you with their stories, and with all that is possible, listening to their stories, you will realize what all is possible in your life following your heart's calling. And we are so blessed and privileged and honored that we have Dr. Ivan with us. He is the Transformation Leadership Council member from USA. And he's also the very, very well-known founder and chief visionary of BNI, Business Network International, as we all know it. It's the world's largest business networking platform organization, which is also the leading Referral networking organization founded in 1985. Dr. Ivan, you have done some amazing work putting together and populated continent right now more than 10,000 chapters, and you have all the chapters together have generated 11.5 million referrals, $16.3 billion worth of businesses have been transacted. That is just mind-blowing what you have done.
Especially during the middle of COVID, that is amazing to me that our members would generate that much business during COVID. Wow.
Yeah, and that's because of the power of where you brought everybody from offline to online. And that is really wonderful. And actually, you have also written 26 books, which is awesome. And as a New York best-selling author, we're definitely going to speak about your book, The Infinite Giving.
Yeah.
I love that name. And so let's look at this first question that I have for you. We're going to really bombard you, and we're going to be like a sponge taking in everything from you. So the first question is, that's everybody's mind. What are the challenges you face when going global?
Well, there are a number of challenges in going global. The first thing is that you have to really create systems and processes that are replicable, that you can use in all across the world. And there are some things that really transfer over globally. Years ago, I learned that there is a different kind of culture that most people don't think about. They think about their culture in their country. Mm-hmm. And people say to me, how does BNI work the same in 70 countries? There's a good reason for it. What a lot of people don't think about is the culture of entrepreneurism. There is a culture of entrepreneurism. And entrepreneurs want to do things more effectively or more efficiently. No matter what country they're in, they want to do things more effectively or more efficiently. And if you can teach people how to do that, then it's not about not following the culture of the country. It's about an overlay, a system or process that embraces the culture of the country, but has a system or process that allows that culture to proceed as it normally would. For example, in BNI, we're about referrals and business, and a business card. In most countries, in a lot of countries, in America, a business card is no big deal. You'd almost toss a business card at somebody. But in a lot of Asian countries, it's much more of a ritual. In Japan, they call it I think it's the Maishi ritual, where you hold the card in both hands, you bow, and so when we went into Asian countries, people said, well, how is the business card thing going to work? Because Americans will just toss a card at you. It's no big deal. Well, it's easy. whether you're talking about an Asian country or a Western country, you're still handing out cards. How you do it may differ, but you're not handing out rocks in one country and cards in another. It's still cards. And so the truth is, there are many more similarities than dissimilarities for entrepreneurs. And so if you can learn how to work within the cultural context and apply your system, you can scale.
Yeah, I think that is one part that many people overlook, that businesses fundamentally have a root similarity.
Yeah.
And that's where everything is built on. And you have like gone through so many countries. So I want to know, what is the one thing that kind of inspired you to take on so many countries? I think that would be a good direction for us to go with this.
Well, the truth is, people reached out to me from those countries, that as we opened more and more groups, people would start to come to BNI. I mean, the first country we opened outside the United States was in Canada. And it was because somebody attended a chapter meeting in Missouri, and they were from Canada. And they said, this is amazing. You know, we need this in Canada. And so the truth is, all 70 countries, except for 2, came from somebody who visited a chapter somewhere. The 2, one was Mexico, where the director there said, I want to start some networking organization. Let's find out what the biggest is, and that's what I want to be involved in. And the second was Singapore.
Okay.
Singapore opened up because they read one of my books. And
I know.
Said, we need this here.
Yes.
We need this here. And so those are the only 2 countries that opened through any other process other than referral.
Yeah, I think this conversation that you're telling me really talks about what we call pull marketing. You have created such a strong, powerful space that you pulled people into this, into this energy, and that kind of rippled up.
Well, you bring up a good point, because that's actually the phrase I was thinking of in 1985, at the end of 85. When, when I started BNI in January of 1985, I just wanted one chapter.
Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to help my friends, and I thought they'd help me. And people kept asking me to open more chapters and more chapters. And it wasn't until December of 85, right before the new year, I usually take some time off before the calendar new year to just reflect. And that year I thought, what the heck just happened? Because we opened 20 chapters without me trying. And that's when I realized that I was experiencing pull marketing. I was being pulled through the marketplace. Push marketing is hard, you're pushing and pushing, but pulled marketing is where you just pulled through. And at that point I realized I better pay attention to this, because it happens rarely in business that you get pulled through. And that was the date I decided to scale BNI. And I created my plan on how do I scale this business and make it much larger. I wasn't thinking 70 countries then, but I wanted to make it larger.
And you know that I was just telling you earlier on, we kind of really look up to the organization as a teacher, because we are in the mission of bringing together 100,000 conscious entrepreneurs. So you have built the network of almost 300,000 members across the world, and it's managing people.
Yeah.
You have created a system that can manage people. Can I ask you, how did you come up with the system?
Well, trial and error to a large extent. I mean, I had a system, I wrote it down, and what we did was every time something worked, we replicated it. And we created manuals. And when things didn't work, we put that in the manuals. Don't do this.
Wow.
This doesn't work. This does work. And so it really is about creating systems and processes. At the time I started BNI, I read a book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. It stands for the entrepreneurial myth. And I really applied many of the concepts that he talked about in the book, which was, create systems and processes and create your business as though you're going to franchise your company, even if you never plan on franchising it. Have that mindset. And I did, and I never planned on franchising BNI, but about 7 or 8 years into it, I thought, well, actually it was 6 years into it, I thought, I could probably franchise this, and I did, but it wasn't my original plan.
I think that that's a powerful message, because everyone who wants to globalize always have this stress that they have to carry their bag and go. Now everybody knows nobody needs to carry a bag and take the flight as much as we did before.
Right.
At least people are believing now that you need not go global that way. And now the way that you have transited, I was just talking to some people today morning about how you have, when I was in BNI as a regional director in 2002 and 3, one of the reasons I had to leave BNI was I was not able to attend the program every week because I was traveling. That was like, I was asking myself, why this wasn't there then?
But we didn't have the technology then.
Yes.
In 2002, yeah.
Yes. So what you have done right now and how it has transited, and I was just telling them today that look at the system, it still works online.
Yeah.
And that's how powerful a system can be.
It is. And here's something interesting. 3 years ago, I wrote an article that is, it's still up on entrepreneur.com. That says the future of face-to-face networking is online. And I wrote that 3 years ago. And people were like, oh my goodness, what are you thinking? How could you think that? You're an in-person organization. And what I saw was technology advancing. Mixed reality technology, 3D technology, holographic images. And because of the changes in technology, I realized that BNI was going to be disrupted, or we could lead the disruption.
Yes.
And I wanted to lead the disruption. Now, what I didn't see occurring was COVID. Luckily, my CEO for BNI, Graham Weimiller, did see that coming. And he took the idea of online that I had been talking about way quicker than I would have done it, and implemented the transition to online. Now, I think what we'll end up with when COVID dissipates globally is a hybrid.
Yes.
That we're gonna have chapters that meet all online. We have 350 chapters that have never met in person.
Wow. And that's the COVID babies, right?
The COVID babies. That's right. That's what I'll call them, the COVID babies. So, we have 350 chapters who's never met in person. I think what we're going to see is some chapters who will continue to meet online only, some chapters who will meet, who will go back completely to in person, which we're great with. And I think we might see a hybrid.
Yes.
I think we might see chapters who meet online, so maybe twice a month or 3 times a month, and they meet in person once a month. I think that's brilliant. And I would love to see more chapters doing something like that. But at this point, we've made no decisions. We want the dust to settle and figure out. But we're open to ideas.
Nobody knows like when is everybody going to meet. That's the interesting thing. And this is exactly what happened to Go Global in our business school as well, because in 16, I wrote an article, Going Global, Going Visual, Going Online.
Yeah.
And that was exactly 1 month later, our Singapore government launched the Go Global campaign. So it's like, oh my God, this is like so exciting. So I so relate to you about the online presence. And this is definitely it. And you have taken the lead for sure with the systems in place.
Well, thank you. And we've always believed in the implementation of technology into in-person networking. I mean, think about it. Our domain name is bni.com. You can't get a 3-letter domain name. It's been decades since you've been able to get a 3-letter domain name. So we were an early adopter in many different technologies in order to make sure that we, one of our core values is traditions plus innovation. And so both are important, and we believe in innovation.
Definitely. This is the time I have to give my testimony for BNI, because we're going to talk about your book. I was a homemaker who was starting to do business. And if not for the foundation with BNI that taught me the power of business world. And that was back in 2002, 3 and 4. And I was so excited as a member. I started winning all these awards, most visitors, most referrals. And then I was so excited. I was pulled in to become regional director for and I created some exciting groups of chapters together. But what was interesting is I got to understand the meaningful work that goes behind all these, what we say, the tip of the iceberg is what people say, but I got to see the real stuff. And I have to tell you, Dr. Ivan, that was the reason for all the work that we are doing. it was the work of BNI that gave me the strength, the power of understanding relationship building,
Yeah.
and also the most important concept that many people don't understand, the giver's gain philosophy. And this is something that boggles people's mind,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's like, how can a business owner give referral without any financial gain? So that's crazy stuff. So all these things has really given me so much of confidence in the way we run our business. And our Go Global Accelerator, many of the foundations comes from the teachings that we have heard from we have got from the work of BNI. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Can I comment about giver's gain? Because I'd
Yes,
like to
I'm
comment.
going to ask you about that for sure, because
Okay.
that is something that we need to really find out from you. What actually got you to get that concept out?
Well, I realized early on in the process that it's all about relationships. I went to many networking groups before I started BNI that were very mercenary. I would go to those meetings and everyone was trying to sell to me. And I felt like I'd been slimed. I needed to go home and get a shower because everyone was trying to sell to me. And then I went to these other groups that were totally social. It's happy hour and hors d'oeuvres and nobody was doing business.
Yeah.
And I didn't like either of those groups. What I wanted was a group that focused on business but wasn't mercenary. A group that could be social but wasn't totally social, that was relational. So I wanted a focus on business that was relational. And to me, the way to make that work, the glue that would hold it together, is our principal core value of giver's gain. This idea that if I give you business, you'll give me business and we'll all do better. To me, giver's gain is more than a phrase.
Yes.
It's a way of living one's life. It's a perspective to view and interact with the world. It's an attitude, not an expectation. And when it's applied properly, it will change your life. And when it changes enough lives, it'll change the world.
That is so powerful, because we're talking about the heart expanding. When we give, our heart just expands, and the more we expand, the more we are able to serve each other. And
Exactly.
bringing that into business is so powerful. And we have seen, just even you may not have met each other for the longest time, but just because you have had that relationship, you meet back after many years, you still bond at a whole different level. That's been my experience as well. Dr. Ivan, today is a very special day for me.
Yes, why?
I know I've told you, and I'm going to tell you again because everybody else needs to know. It's a very special day. As much as I was starstruck with Dr. Ivan, your work in BNI. My parents come from a town called Nagarkoil in India. It is called, for me, it is a mission to see Nagarkoil as a Cape Town of India. That's how much potential the town has, the city has. And interestingly, today was the launch of the first ever chapter in Nagarkoil.
That's amazing.
And it's
shout out from the founder. Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations indeed. I think some of them are also watching this video, this recording. And what we want to say is the power of getting the world to come to pace. Because 10 years ago, when I visited India, even though my families come from there, none of them could see the value of what BNI could give because they were not ready for it.
Right.
Then again, BNI was still very active in India. And I was so blessed because of the champion chapter. I want to shout out the champion chapter because all of them are still there. And they had been so supportive in my work in reaching out as well. So from there, it has been a journey for me. And right now, seeing the growth of the chapter in Nagarkoil, and right now, they are third tier. They're third tier city. So this is going to be awesome growth for them when they're going to focus and grow. So excited for them as well. Thank you so much for all the amazing work you do. So this book, Infinite Giving, that's where we are all going in. So the Infinite Giving is, can you tell us a little bit about it? Because the name itself, as you say, the Giver's Gain philosophy, talks a lot about it.
So infinite giving is really about the 7 principles of giver's gain. And those principles include things like, who do you surround yourself with? The importance of giving without expectation in the sense that it can't be transactional. Look, I'll give you this, but then you have to give me that. So it has to be giving without an immediate expectation. It's about giving more than expected. And that sounds contradictory, but it's not. Giving without expectation is about, giver's gain. It's about building a relationship. It's about understanding that networking is more about farming than it is about hunting. It's about cultivating relationships, but it's also about giving more than people might expect. And at the same time, giving what you can afford. Yes. And again, that sounds contradictory, but it's not. You should give from your saucer, not your cup. Give from what overflows in your life. When I was younger and I didn't have a successful business, I gave my time to charitable organizations because I didn't have money to give. But what was overflowing was I had time. And so I gave to charitable organizations my time. As I became more successful, I still give my time, but I also give money. So you give from your saucer, not from your cup. That's one of the principles of infinite giving. What also is important is that it's okay to gain. Yes. Giver's gain is 2 words, and it's okay to gain, which means that sometimes you got to ask. And when you've built a relationship, and this is the key, what happens is people ask for something before there's a relationship. But if you build a relationship, social capital is about investing in the relationship. And when you've invested in the relationship, it's okay then to ask. And then the last 2 principles are staying humble. It's important to stay humble as you become more successful. And being an infinite giver, humility is important. A humble person doesn't think less of themselves. They just think of themselves less. We think that's important in infinite giving. And the last is the gratitude effect. Gratitude is not new age psychobabble. It's science. There is hard science, and we quote studies by Harvard, by Yale, by Claremont University that show people who show gratitude are more successful than those who don't, and the people who receive the gratitude are more productive than those who don't receive gratitude. And so infinite giving is about those 7 principles.
Wow, that is so exciting. We really want to have that book available for everybody. We'll put up the link for them to.
Yeah, it is. And it's a quick read. I mean, it's a short book. Yeah.
Yes, there are some specific informations that's shared there that really, what you're sharing is awesome. And we want to ask you, in this new age for the entrepreneurs, they are listening to you as a follow-up conversation. What is it that you feel should be order of the day for business growth?
So I think one of the things that we don't teach in business school that is really important, and I think it's the number one mistake that businesses make, is you want to be successful in business, you have to do 6 things 1,000 times, not 1,000 things 6 times. And what happens is business people keep chasing bright, shiny objects. They're always looking for something new rather than focusing on the things that are tried and true and they know they work consistently. And you learn that from your mentors. You learn that from your virtual mentors, from people that you see maybe on a show like this, that they say something that resonates with you. And you learn it from them. And then you do 6 things 1,000 times. Do it consistently over and over again. And small businesses, they're constantly chasing bright, shiny objects. I keep this here because I talk about this a lot. They're constantly chasing bright, shiny objects, right? Oh, there's another bright, shiny object. Let's go with that.
I think that is so true. And it's about getting into the foundation of getting specialized. And this is really, really awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wish to share with the audience? I think we can go on and on with you, but you have.
Well, listen, I've enjoyed the interview. I think your network, the people that you build this relationship with, the people that you invest in, your network is a beacon of hope in a sea of fear. The world is a crazy place. A lot of crazy things are happening. But what I have seen over and over again is that those people that you have a good relationship with, that you build a strong relationship with, those people in your network, those people that are in each other in a BNI group, that BNI group is a beacon of hope in a sea of fear. And today, more than ever, you need your network to help you through difficult times.
Yes. Amazing. Thank you so much. That's why we so believe in quality networking, and where else in BNI that has been established with a proven results showing across
Yeah.
the world. Thank you so much, Dr. Ivan, for your
Well,
wonderful.
thank you. And we invite anyone to come to BNI, go to bni.com. And if you, I have a blog with a lot of free content, ivanmisner.com. Come check it out.
Yes, we're just putting it up. It's up there for people to look at, and definitely grab your book, which is The Infinite Giving. And of course, you have 26 other books that people can go to as well. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been a wonderful time. We're going to be sharing with you a lot of life inspirations that you can learn from so that you can uplift your life and live a life filled with love, peace, and joy. Thank you so much once again. See you in the next show.